What I want to do with this video is basically to show you how we've been approaching doing some of the virtual teaching, including the video conferencing with our Year 13s, as we call them in Northern Ireland. They'd be Year 12s to you over the water, as we say, in England. So our sixth formers who will be coming back next year, obviously, to continue with their studies. How are we supporting them with this? Well, the coasts is the topic that we're doing here, and we're looking at shoreline management plans with them. Now, typically what we would do is to take them through the slides. There's a whole bunch of interactive tasks pardon me, and photographs that they can look at there that help them to explore the issues that are relating to the shoreline management plan, and take them through a whole bunch of areas and illustrations, things like that. Now, typically there's a lot of interactivity in that task, a lot of questioning and answer, a lot of consolidation, a lot of making sure that they understand. Now, how do we do that when they're not in front of us? Well, I put together a series of videos that basically would have included many of the things that I would have done in class, but that tends to be, of course, quite instructional. I did ask questions in it, but clearly I'm not getting any direct interaction. So how do we know that they're learning? How do we know that they know? Well, we put together this Google Forms quiz that they completed at the end, and we set a very high pass rate for them because we were allowing this basically to be an open book, if you like, or open virtual book quiz, so they could go back and refer to the notes and the activities and the videos that they had done in order to help them. The key with this is to get them not just simply to watch these videos, but actually use them to make sure that they understand. But we're having a weekly video conference class with the pupils, and basically we want to really maximize that time for the interactivity. And if this exercise here, of the watching the videos, we're doing our best to make it interactive, but how do we then, when they're actually virtually in class with us, how do we make that interactive? So the exercise that we put together was this one. So it's exploring the North Norfolk Shoreline Management Plan, and basically what I wanted them to do was to take a different part of the Shoreline Management Plan itself. We linked them through to it. This is a voluminous document at 162 pages long. And what we wanted them to do was to have a different area, and for them then to go in and try and interact with this plan a little bit more, which demonstrates that they've thought about the content of the video. Now, for us, we're preparing them at the end of sixth form for the decision-making exercise, so that's filtering in with this as well. They've got to make their decision, or at least state the decision that somebody else has made in this case, and they've got to justify that decision on the basis of economic considerations, and the cost-benefit analysis, and environmental considerations, the economic impact assessment considerations. We'd gone over all of that with them in the video. The key here was to get them to do something with it. Now, when they came into the class, I had this in front of them and I was able to show them this. And the idea behind this is, they've had the instruction bit, if you like, from the video. This now is the modelling section. So what I was able to do is to colour code this to show them, right, there's the point here on the economic aspects of it. This goes into CBA. Here are the bits in green and the environmental. This goes into EIA, and the blue bit here is the managed retreat. It's the policy approach. So that's the modelling side of things. And what I wanted them to do then was to end up with a slide that was able to go into the shoreline management plan, extract the information, sort it under the appropriate heading, put in the map there, and part of our decision-making exercise, they have got to be able to use photographs and extract information from non-textual sources as well. So I wanted them to go and find a photograph, but the key thing that I said to them is that the photograph needed to illustrate the points that they were making in the boxes in the previous page. It wasn't just a photograph of Overstrand, it was a photograph of the area showing the points made in the SMP, that there are few socioeconomic assets, and that the cliffs, that's embarrassing. Cliffs are important ecologically, and so is spelling. Always check before you post, I guess. So what then we did was created a document. I copied and pasted a whole bunch of blank slides with them. I'll just go to one of those by way of illustration. Here it was here. So they all had their own slides to work on, and they were working on this collaboratively at the same time. Page numbers at the top, so they were then able to go into the document. Page 145, there was the information from the shoreline management plan itself. There's the photograph that they were pulling in. they were able to use that information and complete the document here. Now what I was then able to do was to monitor this, and when you go into that view here, I could see them constructing this and can see them working their way through the whole thing, and it was able then to go in and provide some comments, some feedback on what they were doing. I was also available there through the Zoom class to give them some general comments as I saw the work emerging, and then through the Zoom comment function they were able to ask me questions. This is a big class, there are 22 students in this class, so it's managing quite a large number, which is difficult of course in Zoom. But what I was aiming for here was this, making sure that the students were doing the work, making sure that they were interacting with this, so that the Zoom conference wasn't just a replication live of these videos. There was application going on in a way that I could monitor and provide direct and live feedback. So the idea, as I say, was that I began with the modelling. They had the introduction, they had the input from the videos there of the new information. Then along comes the modelling of how to do it, and then the task that they were doing was the application task, and that application task was supported by me as I was doing that. Now this is my attempt to use some of those common approaches that you'd use with that kind of direct instruction approach with things, of the input of the new material, the modelling of application, and then the application practice themselves in such a way as that they were doing it. I was able to monitor it and give them live feedback. So I would love to hear if any of you are doing anything similar to that, if you're finding any ways of doing these live classes that allow you to have that degree of interactivity with the students, and if there's anything that you see in what I've done here that you think could be improved or done better, I would love to hear. Hopefully this will be of some help to some of you, and I'm certainly very, very open to getting some suggestions back. Thanks very much.